Hoy vamos a trabajar con la comprensión de acuerdo de género en español. Today we are going to be understanding gender agreement in Spanish. So, una introducción con sustantivo y artículo, el versus la. So, we are working with the noun and article agreement in terms of el versus la, the feminine and masculine. Número uno. El es un artículo masculino. So el is a masculine article. So we will use this with masculine nouns. Por ejemplo, el teléfono, el libro y el mono. El es el artículo, mono es un sustantivo. If you notice here, all of these words in this example end in an O. Número 2. La es un artículo femenino. Por ejemplo, la comida, la pelota, y la mesa. So la is a feminine article, so we will use this with feminine words. Notice here there's also a pattern. These words end in A. Typically, if a noun ends in an A, we will use the feminine article la. So with noun and article agreement, we must ensure that the article and the noun agree in gender when speaking and writing. How do we do so? Nouns ending in an O in Spanish typically are masculine, as we saw in number 1, and nouns ending in an A in Spanish are typically feminine, from what we saw in example 2. We're going to check our understanding here very quickly. We're going to fill in the blank with either el or la when we are given a noun in Spanish. This is a Google form. You should have access to this through Google Classroom. If not, if you have access to the presentation, go ahead and click on that check mark and it should open it right up for you. All right. Tenemos 5 preguntas. We have 5 questions. We have fill in the blank here, and you will fill in the blank with either el or la. Entonces, número 1. Juntos. Blanco zapato. El o la. Masculino o femenino. Zapato. El. El zapato. It ends in an L, so we can assume that this article will be an L. Go ahead and complete the next 4 on your own, and we will come back together to double check our answers. Un voluntario, por favor. Número 2. Blanco casa. La. It ends in an A, so we can assume it's la. Pero. El o la. El. Flor. This one doesn't end in an O or an A, but we can make a guess. El, okay. Agua, el o la. La, because what we know so far is that if it ends in an A, it will be la. Let's double check our answers here. El zapato, muy bien. La casa. El perro. We guessed L for this, but the correct answer is la flor. We will see an example of this later. Number 5, agua. It is technically masculine. Again, we will also visit this in our presentation. So it's el agua. All right. Palabras que terminan en consonante. So these are words that end in a consonant, not a vowel. So any letter but A, E, I, or U, sometimes Y, is what we are talking about here. Sometimes there are tricks and tips. Other times we have to memorize some of these words and if they're masculine or feminine. For example, nouns ending in RSLN are typically masculine. For example, we have el león, el maíz, el pan, el papel, y el parque. We do have a vowel here. As I wanted to show an example, as you will see here, for the feminine side, we have la flor, la televisión, la canción, la mujer, y la clase. A tip that we have here are nouns ending in ción are typically feminine. Here are some cases of why we might have to memorize. El parque y la clase, they both end in an E, but sometimes we just have to memorize the word. I also have a picture down here that splits some of these endings into two different categories, masculine and feminine. Sometimes you can just memorize the endings to help you figure out whether if it's masculine or feminine. Y aquí tenemos palabras necesitamos memorizar. So these are words that you absolutely have to memorize. There are no tricks to these. An example that we saw in our Check Your Understanding, el agua. Yes, it ends in an A, but it is actually masculine. Como el clima, el día, el mapa, el idioma. Feminine words in Spanish that technically end in an O, but we are using the feminine article la foto, la mano, la moto, la radio, y la carne. Again, we just have to practice these words and memorize them, and that is why I'm assigning a GIMP kit for homework. Ahora practicamos con acuerdo de sustantivo y artículo en género para tarea. We would play this live. As we are running out of time, I have assigned it as homework. It should be posted in Google Classroom, or if you happen to click on the notebook, it should open it up right for you. You should have to answer so many questions correctly. You are just reviewing what we went over with el and la, and what nouns are feminine and masculine. That is all for today. Gracias por la clase y adiós.